Do you ever feel trapped in your downswing? If so, this video is going to be really relevant for you. I'm going to be discussing the difference between arm playing and club playing. Make sure you check this video. Jon Watts here from the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me in the indoor studio, and today's video, as I mentioned there in the intro, is all going to be about the downswing. For those players who get the feeling that they're trapped or stuck, is often a word that I hear when I ask golfers what they're working on in their game, what they're struggling with. I often hear, I'm stuck, I'm trapped in my downswing, and I'm worried about these blocks and hooks. If this is you, it's going to be really relevant, this video. We're going to be discussing the difference in the downswing between where your hand should be going and what the club should be doing. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. At least 2 instructional videos a week. And if you hit the little bell icon, it just notifies you every time a new video goes live. Right now, we're going to jump into this one. I wish I could hit them all like that. So that was straight down my target line, landed on the green. And what I was feeling there in the rehearsal, as you'll have seen, it's just that my arms worked a little bit more in front of me. Now, this is an exaggerated feel, but if you're someone who's been struggling with that trapped feeling, it's often because you're pulling the handle down in the transition. So you've been told perhaps about trying to keep your arms close to your body, or you're trying to perhaps swing more in to out, and you end up pulling the handle and trying to get your arms behind you. And from that position, my trail arm works behind my body, the shaft gets very steep, very vertical, and my wrist actually gets very cupped in this position here. The official term would be that lead wrist in extension, and that gets that club face in an open position. They're very destructive downswing moves. So although it's not going to be as extreme as I'm rehearsing here, from the top of the backswing to the start of the downswing, we do want the arms to move out a little bit in front of us. And what that helps is the shaft actually lower or shallow a little bit more behind you in that transition. So with the arm plane moving a little bit out in front of you, it can help the club plane shallow a little bit more behind you. Now, there are golfers who, of course, go too extreme and get their arms too far out there, and often they're the kind of player that not only get their arms out, but get the club out. So what I was rehearsing there was the feeling of the arms moving out and in front of you. You can see that means my trail elbow is still flexing down and in front of my rib cage, in front of my hip, into a great delivery position. And I'm allowing that club shaft to shallow behind me. Now, the ideal move in that start of the downswing, but perhaps this is a little too technical to take to the course, would also be that lead wrist staying nice and flat. We see a number of elite golfers even create a little bit of flexion, where the feel for them there would be that the lead wrist, the glove logo, would point away from them, away from the target, almost to the camera behind me here. So they're trying to almost rehearse this feel, where the arms are moving out in front of them, the club is shallowing behind them, and I'm trying to get the sensation almost that the glove logo is behind me or my knuckles are behind the wrist. Now, whether you need to do all that really depends on what your shot's doing, what your club face is like at that last parallel position. So at that last parallel position, I love to see the leading edge of the golf club at a similar angle to my spine. If you're struggling with the face being open and you're hitting shots for a right-handed golfer out to the right of the target, pushes, slice, fades, then you may need to feel that movement with the wrist angle a little bit more. But this video is really aimed at those feeling trapped in the downswing. As I said, that trap feeling is often pulling the handle down. The shaft gets very steep, very vertical. So this is very relevant for those who want to shallow the club as well. What I was trying to get the feeling of in my golf swing there was my arms move a little bit more out in front of me, the club moves a little bit more behind me. So let me hit one more, and again, exaggerate rehearsals. So from the top, arms out in front of me. My trail arm is still flexed. You can see the club is working behind me. Get that feel again before I go ahead and hit one. That one actually still felt very solid, but lost it outright to target. So what I'd really want to look back at on camera at is what was that club face position looking like? Where was that club face in that transition movement? So perhaps when I get that sensation, I do need to get a little bit of that feel with the lead wrist, almost that my knuckles are behind my forearm, my elbow here. So If that is an area that's relevant for you, I'm going to put some links to some videos that I've filmed talking about the lead wrist angle that are going to be really relevant, and I'd perhaps go into some of those drills, some of those exercises. I can't finish with that one, I need a straighter one. So that rehearsal again, arms out in front of me, you can see how that allows space for the club to shallow. I'm just going to get that sensation. As it happens, I'm keeping my lead wrist nice and neutral, I'm not getting a cupped angle. There we go, 2 out of 3 for a part-time golfer on the green wasn't bad. That one was much more down my target line. Again, got that sensation of the arms working a little bit more in front of me. Felt like I had a lot of space, had a lot of time to deliver that club into the ball. So those who are feeling trapped feel like they haven't got time. They feel like they're stuck, and then it's a flash with the hands and arms. Otherwise, they're going to be sailing off to the right of the target for a right-handed golfer. As I mentioned at the start of the video, if this is relevant, I'd love to hear from you. Put some comments below if it has helped. Make sure you smash the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel for all the other content. Cheers guys, I'll see you again.